Charlie Kirk and what it was that he stood for. Particularly what started earlier this week with Trump's rally against Thomas Massie that was cheered on by Turning Point USA, even though there is ample footage of Charlie Kirk repeatedly saying that his favorite congressman was Thomas Massie. I mean, they have completely tried to redefine what Turning Point USA is. But we all know what it has become. Candace Owens, as always, brings the receipts so people can understand just how bad this really is. When they lie, they get caught. And here's how Charlie really felt. Charlie Kirk did not support Ben Shapiro's treatment of people over Israel. He also did not support Talmudic Judaism in general. I am done with the silence of Turning Point on this issue. He was being morally blackmailed for over a year, and he had had enough. From Charlie to Candace, stand for truth. The people are with you. I know, been through enough of these, and the truth always wins in the end. By the way, he was standing on a couch. Who was standing on a couch, you might ask? Who is being referred to here in this interesting little connected segment? This is who. Little Ben Shapiro getting roasted by Charlie and Candace, even though Ben still tries to pretend like Charlie really liked him. Too good. He's unhinged. Stay the course. Yes, little Ben is unhinged. Extremely. Next slide, please. There are some verses in the Talmud that will blow your mind. I'm aware of them. The Talmud is not biblical, but it is their rabbinical interpretation of Judaism. Shh. I did a deep dive 1 week. Thought crime. Yep. Yeah, it is a thought crime. You can blow that up, Colin. Thank you. Listen, amazing. Your show rocks, by the way. Thank you. The defense of Twitter today. The Jews were very angry at me. Again, today. Go figure. Their expectation is that you defend them, but they are silent if anything happens to Christians. It's sick. And they expect you to be silent if anything happens to Christians. So horrible. I'm over it. The amount of texts I got, again, over that tweet was honestly beyond belief. I even tweeted with all disclaimers. It's why I don't use my platform to defend them. But I realized I was one-sided and how vicious they would get if I didn't do their bidding. I was just done with it. They should read How to Win Friends and Influence People. They've pushed so many allies away. Any more? I think that's it. Yes. And so the attempt to rewrite history, which they've been doing in earnest, which should not come as any surprise. There are many reasons why Charlie was killed. The biggest, in my opinion, is still what he said to President Trump regarding going to war in Iran. Could not get in the way of that. But there's also this very telling segment that he did with Patrick Bett, Star of David, who happens to be in support of the Israeli cause against Iran as well. He's another one of those Iranian-born, but supports genocide and supports the massacring of the people to bring back democracy to Iran.
I still have the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu is basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an
And this is one of the lost chapters of how we ended up here in the first place with the false flag. That was October 7th. Netanyahu and his cohorts, they didn't really want them there anymore. So he had to come up with something now, didn't he?
An exaggeration, right? But I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. Wow. 6 hours.
You can't be saying that and having millions of people hear it when you are supposed to be one of the most important spokespeople in all of Christian Zionism. At least that's what they wanted. That's unacceptable. This was something that took place, I believe, just prior to his Hamptons meeting. Takes a lot of guts to say that. And perhaps he, as I said before, simply made peace with his soul and understood what could potentially happen by speaking out. And he spoke out. Got a lot of trouble for it.
Somebody in the government say stand down. That is a legitimate non-conspiracy question. The whole country is the IDF. The whole country is. Gotta be careful the way I say this. They're gonna try to ethnically cleanse Gaza.
Gonna try? No, they did. They have. And now they're doing it in Lebanon. For now. And we will see just how long this goes. I, for one, as I've said, find hope in this moment, because it seems that there are a lot of people with a lot of differences in the political arena that are mending fences or just outright saying, this is much bigger than ourselves. So as a result, we have to figure out a way to come together. And by doing so, we can potentially upend this. Petty differences, whatever they may be, this is so much bigger. And I say this because I believe we have a chance to break Israel's stranglehold. They're doing it to themselves because they bit off more than they can chew by attacking Iran. And now they're going to pay for it, possibly with all of it. They will lose their entire country, which I believe is going to happen. But we can help hasten it and make it fast. As I said, our job is to provide justice that is swift and brutal. And anyone who is noticing understands that Charlie Kirk was 1,000% removed by somebody other than Tyler Robinson.
Yep. I mean, that's, and I don't use that term lightly, okay? They're talking about basically removing 2.5 million people from there, okay? And let me tell you, my pattern recognition over the last 5 years has become pretty sharp. COVID, Maui fires, Epstein. When I see a story and it doesn't click, our guts are usually right.
Like I said, I definitely have my differences with Charlie, but he was flying way too close to the sun with that commentary. When you are responsible for tens of millions of voters It's a lot. He got Trump elected. It's that significant. When that person starts noticing and starts asking others to notice as well, what do you think is going to happen? That person has to be dealt with. That person has to be silenced. Because if they're not, well, then that just ruins everything. That puts people in a position where they are not able to defend their position. I wouldn't use Megyn Kelly as a good example, but I use Megyn Kelly as an example of somebody who's always been a chameleon, who always, like a slimy, slithering snake, always manages to stand upright and come out clean on the other side. Well, Miss Bottom Feeder Kelly is now deliberately and brazenly going after the Zio scum, including Brooke Goldstein, one of the top people in the Zionist community, because of the fact that she sympathizes with the Lebanese man who had his children murdered and sought revenge. Say what you want about Megyn Kelly, but you know what Megyn Kelly and Jen Perlman have in common? If anybody hurt their children, they would be dealt with. And if you have to go to the source, there's one thing about that synagogue. They were a massive supporter, are a massive supporter of the state of Israel. And they support the cause that killed his kids. So as we said, this noticing is real. And it's going to become much more evident as we go forward.